Welcome back to the 2023 PDGA Junior World Championships powered by Paragon Disc Golf. We're jumping into the back nine here in the semifinals. Lake Eureka has been showing its teeth. Some of these fairways are really tight. A lot of those shots on the front nine were very tightly wooded and slightly uphill. So we'll see if our players can kind of clean it up on the tee, find some more birdies. Chris DeMarco here with Willem Kline.
Good to be back, and like you said, there was a big shakeup in this first 9 holes. Definitely different leaderboard than what we saw in the beginning here. A little bit of struggles from Waden, a little bit from Patrick too, and you see Judah climbing up the leaderboard now. We'll see if Patrick can maintain that lead.
Hole 10, par 3, 320, starting from the open field, and we're headed back into the woods here at Lake Eureka. See a lot of backhand turnovers with overstable discs. Just try to flex that one out right back to the green.
Judah going a little low, and it looks like he caught a root or something that kicked him slightly backwards, but he's still on the fairway.
Waden just been so aggressive all tournament. You know, it's caused him some troubles here in round 5, but we've seen how much success he's had. Now he's right back in the circle here in the back 9.
Shot was looking good there for Levi, but drifts a little bit right, and he is going to get caught by that tree.
Tough shot from Patrick there.
Yeah, early and low for Patrick. A little bit of a slip out, it looked like. A couple of our players here are going to be scrambling for a par.
Whoa.
And Judah catching another tree here on his approach shot. He's going to be pretty far for his par look. It's similar for Levi.
Nobody really happy with their shots right now. Even Patrick, who was in the lead, just kind of disappointed with his approaches. I'm telling you, man, it's just been a long week of disc golf. You mentioned none of these guys are in their hometowns. It's just tough out here. The pressure is building, but I also think it's just that fatigue after playing so much disc golf.
The mental and physical fatigue setting in for these young players, and we'll see who has what it takes to fight through that and come out on top.
Yeah, once we're in that final 9, the fatigue is gone, the adrenaline is pumping. It's just about getting over the finish line right now. Great long putt from Levi, and Waden cashes in for the birdie.
Great birdie for Waden to build back some momentum going into the back 9 here. Patrick will clean up his par. And Judah taking
one of the first double bogeys we've seen from him all tournament. I honestly wonder that might be his first double. Jumping right into hole 11, par 4, 542. I'm sure these guys could get here, but it's just so protected around the corner. You're really just trying to go for par here. Or the birdie, of course.
How did that happen twice in a row?
I have no clue.
Way to go with a forehand, and somehow makes it around that tree on the left side of the fairway. And
a little bit of an iron leaf there, I think. I don't know if he liked that one.
The forehand, the play or something? Forehand missing the fairway is the play, apparently.
Love the shape of this, and he gets through.
Wow.
Oh man, what an absolutely beautiful drive from Patrick,
And
just to end up right behind that one tree though.
What an unfortunate result for such
so
a
brutal.
great drive to be parked right against that tree.
Judah coming back out, he asked for it to get lucky, and I think he did, considering he's on the fairway. Again, it's tough. You know, I want to be critical that these guys are being so aggressive, but these are just such long, narrow holes. You have to put so much on it. Lots of sneaky elevation on this course.
And we are running out of holes out here at Eureka Lake, and all these players want to put themselves in the best possible spot to attack on the final 9. Some frustration shown here from Levi.
Patrick, best driver of the group, and even he's off in the rough for the birdie putt. That is just such a good throw considering the circumstances on that hill, muddy conditions.
And same goes for Waden here. Super awkward footing there, and nice clean approach shot. Good assist there.
Yeah, great assist. That's a great call. And what is this from Levi?
Forehand roller.
Might have been all he had.
And a great result.
Patrick has flexed that patent pending a couple times. I mean, that is impressive.
Tricky putt for Levi, and he is not going to make good on it.
He's hit so many of those Anheuser putts through the woods this week. Judah getting par, and that's looking to take a stroke on some of these players in the top of the field here.
Definitely a solid par. And Waden, I think that was his closest miss of the round.
Might be his closest miss of the week. He's been absolutely lights out from 25 and in.
It's getting really tough for these players to stay focused and finish strong.
This is what I like to see from Patrick, taking his time. You know, after that tee shot, you know he wants to go up another stroke, but getting the par here, get himself into that final 9 in first place. At this point, that's the goal.
And especially after someone else on the card misses a close putt,
It's a little more difficult out there.
It's helpful to take a moment and kind of clear your mind from that.
Very up and down shot here, hole 12, the par 3. We'll see if these guys can get something low speed to just finish dead straight. Waden's starting to find that momentum on the tee. Let's see if he can match it on the green with the uphill putt. There it is. What a tee shot from Levi Stout. Another 2-3 feet of power, and that thing's filtering down the hill.
Great touch, too. He kept it nice and low and just used the ground to slide it right up to the basket.
Interesting spot for Levi Stout. I know we had a couple other players near the top of the field. Nikolai Hagen was pretty close at the start of this round. He's at 31 under. There's Patrick with another deep putt for the par. Deep for a par putt anyway.
Whenever the putt's outside of 20, it's too deep.
The Wasp, especially the Z Wasp, it did go in the bag really early. It's great for kind of that in-between stability. I can flex it if I need to. I can throw it on hyzer. It's dependable and it holds up in the wind.
Hole 13, par 3, 280, left to right, going slightly back up the hill. Lots of trees on this fairway. Green is just so tightly crowded. We got some wildlife out here at Lake Eureka. I love to see that. This is a long way out for that kitty. I wonder whose that is.
Gonna be a little bit blocked off there for that putt, but up the fairway.
Waden trying to go sidearm. He pulls that one. Patrick getting through, but he's a little bit long. It's so tough to just bust out the forehand when you haven't thrown one in a while, but Judah is always on point with those sidearms.
And Judah finding a way to access the green, and he'll have a super close putt for his birdie.
Just crazy. You know, we talked the other day, it's early in these guys' careers. Some of them have only been playing these types of rounds for 2-3 years. But it's still hard not to note that Judah is 20, 40 points behind some of these other players in rating. But I mean, the future is now. The disc golf he's playing is fantastic. Keeping up with these guys all week.
Watching this coverage, you'd have no idea. His poise, his consistency throughout this event has been definitely on par with some of the higher rated players here.
Meanwhile, Patrick's struggling, and yet he's still got a 2, maybe 3 stroke lead after this hole. If at any moment he starts turning it up, he's going to be such a threat.
I was going to say, Patrick is not exactly dominating this round, yet he does still have a 3-stroke lead on our other players. See if anyone can put some pressure on him.
He just hasn't quite had as many looks for birdie.
Yeah, he's been catching some of the trees on these fairways here. A lot of long looks and a lot of scrambling up and down for Patrick, but he has stayed strong.
I think Judah's got 6 birdies on the day. Or no, sorry, it was Waden who hit that triple.
Oh, yeah.
Judah did hit the double. So I think he is looking at 5 birdies on the day.
5 holes left. Anytime a cameraman sees a bridge, you know, he has to bust out the camera. We're stepping into hole 14, par 3, 302. Very simple hyzer shot to the green. There is kind of an overhanging tree on the right side, so you'll see some of these guys try to turn something over more straight. But Levi's just going for the big spike.
And if you got the power, you can definitely get a hyzer down there.
I'm not sure if that's going to be a low ceiling putt over there. Patrick absolutely skies this one. Let's see if it's got the spin to stay straight. And it does. What a drive.
And he played it nice and high there to give it time for it to come out too and fade back to the basket.
This, I think, is the high percentage line from Waden. Give yourself a more open putt on this green with a little bit of turn coming from the left side.
Shoot it from long.
Splashing out left. No question that the frustration is mounting here in round 5.
And Waden putting a putt in. That's how I would expect Waden to putt.
Beautiful 2 from Patrick Yu.
He's going to extend his lead here back to 3 strokes.
And that's going to get a fist bump from Dad. And we're stepping into the hole he eagled in round 3. Hole 15. 761 foot par 5. Coming in at 232 meters. Real fun rock wall in front of this basket. And the rough is not out of bounds, but it does make it so much more difficult to get a clean approach. Patrick kind of riding the side of the rough. He might be able to get a run up from there.
Waden going big here.
It looked like it could have had another 60 feet if it was a little higher, but that's a crush nonetheless.
There's the height.
That is such a smash from Levi. I cannot imagine the amount of hours in the field out in New Zealand that it took to be able to throw the disc like that. Or maybe he was just born with it. Judah, a little bit more tough positioning than the rest of the card. Doesn't quite have the same distance, but the precision is unquestionable.
And pulls this one a little bit wide.
Kind of a long eagle look, but I expect him to lay out with the way this green is shaped. This is the drive I'm waiting to see.
Right up against the wall.
Almost made it up.
Waden going for it here. And he is right up against the wall as well.
I like the high spike because just another foot and he's right up there. No one quite able to make it to the top. Yeah. What an eagle from Waden Sides. From just under the rock wall. And Patrick's gonna match.
Hopping up the wall there to grab that putt.
Absolute smash on the tee from him. Now here's Levi.
Another eagle putt.
Is it a galaxy frame when all four players get an eagle? Is that what it's called?
I think so.
We almost saw it.
Hole 18 at Worlds, down by 1. It's gotta go in.
Unbelievable.
Yes.
Hole 16, par 4, 504. Wind conditions, the haze conditions were a little rough, a little bit dark out when we filmed these previews, but the weather's starting to look a little bit better here in Peoria, Illinois. Sun's been peeking out. Patrick Yu going with that signature jump after the throw. Putting everything he's got into that one, and he's got another look for the eagle.
Way down the fairway there for Patrick. A little off to the left, but he will certainly have a look. Waden looking to be the opposite here, just off to the right side. And this is definitely a reachable hole for these players.
No way.
The clean 360
No
for Levi.
way.
Oh my goodness.
Absolute madman. The 360 drive in the semifinals of Junior Worlds.
And what do you think that got to around circle's edge?
Yeah, I mean, he's got to look for the eagle. He's 5 behind the leader right now. He's only got, what, 12 holes left in this tournament, and he's still got to make it into the final 9. Just incredible play to see.
And an eagle here would certainly put him one step closer to making that final 9.
Patrick way deeper than I thought, but a tap-in birdie with a 4-stroke lead. He's playing so clean.
Judah not giving it too much of a bid, just putting it right under there for birdie.
Wow. Effortless, calculated Levi Stout.
Not many things are cooler in disc golf than hitting a 360 on camera and canning the eagle putt.
I mean, what? Especially in this moment.
With the stakes these high.
Thinking about that stroke later on in the tournament is going to be interesting right there. There's no way he's reaching that without the 360, it seems. Hole 17, par 3, 264, right to left shot. This fairway is a little bit more wide open than a lot of the shapes we've seen on this course, but it does get more narrow as you get closer to the basket. We'll see if these guys can get in there. Oh yeah. Highest rated player in the field's turning on the burners here.
Patrick catching another tree. It's going to have a long putt.
Patrick just makes it look so easy when he birdies. It feels like he's struggling, and he's still 6 down right now. Great shot from Kooistra. What a run.
Patrick
Deep
almost
circle, too.
Almost just birdieing that hole anyway.
The drop off behind the basket there, too. Crazy putt. Kooistra cashing in a rare birdie here on hole 17. Waden will do the same.
Our lead card is definitely lighting up this back nine.
Sorry, guys. You ruined the picture. Oh, you ruined another one.
I love it.
A little bit of banter from our players here.
Yeah, right. Vibes are still high out here, no matter how tough the pressure is. Still throwing frisbees through the woods. Hole 18, par 3, 195. I said this hole's very USDGC-like, and I'm standing by it. You've got OB on either side. Where you see the grass cut is right where the OB line is on the right side, and of course you've got the path on the left. And it's so tight at the top for that final spot. This is a huge tee shot.
And that was looking like it might have gone in if it didn't hit that bush.
Also an inch from bouncing out to the rough.
He'll settle for parked.
Waden also flirting with the OB, shuffles himself right to the basket. Now the pressure is seriously on Kooistra here. This looks wide.
Yeah, he definitely pulled
And
that
he
wide.
squeaks through. He had the black disc. I'm not sure if we saw it. Just a foot inside the OB there after traveling out of bounds.
And that is going to be out of bounds.
OB behind the basket here. Again.
And he nails it for the par. Patrick keeping his lead alive.
This is an unbelievable finish here. Levi hitting that branch, staying in after 2 eagles in a row on 15-16. Waden with the putting struggles early on, comes back to finish 4 down, still in position. And Patrick just holding on at the top. 2-stroke lead over the competition. He's moving on to the final 9.
It's such a massive comeback here for Levi and
Yeah,
Waden
he just said
especially.
it's 6 down through the last 4 holes. Levi Stout, highest rated player in the field. Unbelievable performance on the back 9.
And Patrick will only have a 2-stroke lead, having to fend off 3 players going into the final.
So how many people are in the finals? 4. There's only 4 that move on. So we have to. So one of us doesn't get in. Is that what it? Right.
It's like as a group or just?
Yeah, just you and the
Oh,
dad.
okay.
Is your dad?
Yeah.
Right. Okay. So we're all, those scores are all correct, yeah?
Yes.
I mean, you could add one more.
So as these guys are realizing, Nikolai Hagen is in the mix right now.
No, we're doing 4. 4 are going to the final.
Shotgun start. He's
So we have
finishing
a
on
playoff.
hole 1.
And it will start on hole 1. And we just have to wait till Nikolai submits and make sure he pars. Because if he bogeys, he'll be right there with you with the playoff.
And it's looking like there might be a
You heard it here
playoff.
first. Tied at 39 down. We'll take a look at the leaderboard and see how Nikolai finished. And it looks like he did take the bogey on hole 1. Still going 11 down on the day with another ace. The Norwegian
All right.
phenom is now in the
Everybody's
playoff
here? Are you ready to go?
to make the final 9.
All right, we are in a sudden death playoff for the top 4 spot. Well, actually, we only have 3 spots left because one of them's already been taken. And this is to go to the final 9. There are 4 of you, so you will draw each stick. The longest stick will go first, the second longest stick will go second, the third longest stick will go third, and the shortest stick will go fourth. If we were to continue to go after hole 1, then we'll rotate. So the person who goes last on this hole will go first on the next hole. Does that
I like the
make
rotating
sense?
order a lot here in the playoff.
If we close it out, if one person gets a par and the rest of you get birdies, then that means the playoff is over because you've taken those 3 spots. If 2 of you get pars, 2 of you get birdies, the birdies are in, and the pars will continue to play. Does everybody understand?
All right, here we go. The stage has been set in the semifinals of the Junior World Championship. We're stepping back into hole 1, par 3, 258 feet here at Lake Eureka. We've got 4 players fighting for 3 spots. Can you ask for a better situation here, Willem?
No, you cannot. We have 4 players, like you said. We'll see which ones will start to dwindle as we go on here.
Nikolai Hagen 11 down on the day with an ace and an eagle.
And
Now he's
ground
under
play.
the basket. Norway stand up.
And you got to imagine Nikolai's
Wow.
feeling good after that one. And
I
Waden.
wonder what kind of disc that was. That flip up was insane. This one doesn't quite have the turn.
A little bit
I
stable
think he's
there.
got a straddle. Judah Kooistra on the green, potentially the biggest putt of his career. What a putt.
And he just cans that right on the pole. Super confident.
Absolutely huge performance so far from Judah Kooistra. Let's see if that's enough to move him on.
And there's a good putt from Waden too.
Levi has to hit this straddle. Nikolai's under the basket. This is for everything. He was from a knee. Only about 20-25 feet, but that's still huge.
From a knee. And we are going to have a star for him here on
my.
hole 1 to keep all of our players alive.
We've got so many birdieable holes early on. This is going to be intense. Hole 2, par 3, 234, right to left, up the hill. The basket is straight ahead on the fairway, but you got that early tree on the right and a little bit of a right to left finish on the green.
A lot of pressure for our players to really commit on this shot and hit that gap.
I see Kenta Aranami out here spectating. Shouts out to the PDGA for keeping everything organized out here. And now Levi's up first. He's been out in that exact spot every time on this hole.
And that was looking so good, but it just catches that tree and stops him from accessing the green. Judah,
Gallery's building as Judah Kooistra parks another tee shot.
That's a no-doubter for Judah.
No need to putt this time. That is going to be troubling. You know Nikolai's watching this tee shot with high levels of anticipation here. Levi appears to have a putt. Judah's parked. Let's see if Waden can strike. And that's just inside.
Leaking left, but what a kick to get over the hill.
He's just like, what? Still unhappy with it. He'll have a putt. Sometimes it's more about the feel than the actual result.
That's a great shot from Nikolai.
Class effort there. Class effort to just get up and down.
He's going to have to hope Levi misses this putt.
I kind of thought he was a little closer there, but that's a little bit of a tester for the par. 3 spots open for 4 of these players. Waden could have grabbed one right there, just left. Can't fault him. It was a deep putt.
Levi making good on that par save to keep his hopes alive for making the final 9.
And that solidifies the fate of Judah Kooistra moving on.
Judah will lock in his ticket to the final 9 right here on hole 2.
We will keep strokes the same, so the scores we're seeing now are not, that's not Judah's actual score. He'll still be at 39 down going into the final 9, of course. But he's moving on.
And now 3 players remain. It will just be Nikolai, Waden, and Levi fighting for the finals.
Crazy. I can't believe Judah's composure all week.
Yeah.
Especially that putt on hole 1.
Mom's happy. She's just like, can you please confirm? Are you in? Hole 3, par 3, 192. Saw it on the front 9. That left to right tight tunnel shot. Yes, it's a short hole, but that fairway is so tight. So much can go wrong
Few
here.
more spots to play for. So what position was Judah in last time? When
He was second.
he was second, so whoever was after Judah just takes his spot. So whoever was last goes first, and so on.
So it'll be
Okay.
Waden.
Again, I love the rotating positioning on the tee. Momentum is such a factor here. Pressure is such a factor. Waden sneaks in with the misfire left.
And that's going to be right near the basket, looking at it for birdie.
Levi likes to keep this one low and just play it straight. This time he kind of gets the full flight. He's off in the rough on the right side. I really, really like that simple straight shot on this tee.
Nikolai going with the forehand. He's going to catch a tree there. Not an easy birdie putt for
Dueling
him.
putts between Nikolai and Levi. Waden's up close. Let's see if he'll stay for another hole. This looks so obstructed.
And Levi looking to hedge his bets. And
Oh wow, and Waden's still not up. He must be absolutely parked.
Waden will lock his ticket into the final 9, leaving it to be just a battle here between Levi and Nikolai.
What a tournament so far from Waden Sides. Pop's going and grabbing the mini. Wonder if he was looking out for Poison Ivy there. Hole 4, par 3, 240 dead straight. Willem, I like what you said earlier. I think the slight turn at the end of the flight here helps the disc settle in. You don't have enough room to get one in nose up, so you just got to try to match that hill angle perfectly or turn one over to the right side.
Or keep it nice and low and just put it right into the base. Use the ground.
I just want more camera time, eh? That's why I'm doing this. You've got like 4 rounds of me on camera plus a player.
You guys just see how long, how far you can drag the gallery into the woods.
All right.
Australians are always having a good time. New Zealand's, I'm sorry. But still, that whole region.
Keeping it lighthearted out here. Oh.
Great drive from Nikolai. I know it's sitting home. These guys are making it look easy, but this is a tight fairway, even at 195.
It's definitely a tricky shot. And Levi is right there as well. He also will be putting for birdie.
Great effort from Levi. Now if they can move on, he has the advantage of going first. Put a little bit of pressure on Nikolai.
It's not a super difficult putt, but there is a lot of pressure on
Like
him.
his caddy said, man, we're really bringing the gallery out into the woods here.
Levi cannon that one.
I saw some of the keyboard warriors critiquing some of the decisions made, but you just do not know what the pressure is like when you're sitting at home on the couch. It is so much more difficult to keep that composure on these 15, 20 footers. Nikolai does just that. Jumping right into hole 5, par 3, 294. All we need is one stroke of separation. We saw bogeys on this hole earlier. So, I mean, these guys are definitely going to be going for the 2, but absolutely anything can happen. This is the perfect hole for a tie break. Door opened.
Nikolai makes the correction there, keeping it tighter to the tree line, not catching the wide tree.
Beautiful line. Long putt for the birdie 2. And Levi's still got a tough shot to get par here.
What a shot there from Levi, getting it turned just enough to get it on that cut roller angle and just stick it right where it landed.
Looking like the gallery might keep going. Nikolai, long putt to move on to the finals. Every single stroke led to this moment. Levi's 360 to get the eagle. Nikolai hit 2 aces until this point. Instant phone call back home to Norway, I'm sure. He's moving on to the final 9 and still has a chance to become a world champion here in the MJ18 division. Willem, the script writers are absolutely thriving. I mean, I thought there was a writer's strike, but this storyline is alive and well. Do you have any thoughts here?
You know, in regards to Nikolai, I almost said on hole 1 after he got that nice roll off the hill that it just seemed meant to be for him to make it to the final 9, especially after the second ace. 5 holes of a grueling playoff. It's been a long tournament for these players, and you know, that was just to make it to the final 9. And now these players have one more chance to take this down.
Now they gotta face Patrick Yu with a 2-stroke lead. Folks, do not forget to subscribe to the channel. We will see you in the final 9 at Northwood Blue.